Hello, this is Leo Interviews, episode 7. Today we have Vinnie Fisher with us.
Hello, Leo.
Hi, nice to meet you. I know you have a lot of personal contact with my dad, and you guys are pretty much best buddies.
We are pretty good friends, and I actually consider myself your friend. We've known each other a few years here, obviously, so it's nice to have had you in my home, and I've been in your home, and I love it. So I'm excited to be on the show today. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I know when we went over to your house, I played with Vinnie and Jake. We played Minecraft or whatever.
They still play that game, and
Oh.
every once in a while, when they hear me on the phone with your dad, they're always asking about you. So they would love when they get to do that again. So that would be great.
Yeah, okay, well, let's go ahead and get into it. I would say, what is something that you are proud of yourself for?
That's a really good question, Leo. I say that I just recently I was at a men's retreat where like we kind of go away for the weekend. Your dad went on one of these ones with me, and this particular one that I was on, it was like one of the first times I had really ever heard. One of the things you may know about me is like my faith in Jesus is a big deal, and I'm really thankful to have one. Well, this time on this retreat, I really heard clearly from God that like this validation that I'm a dad, like that I'm actually, and I think for a long time, I don't know if why I had problems with that word, whether it was my upbringing or maybe some things I didn't think about myself, but like I think the best thing I've done is be a very engaged dad to my 4 children.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, every father should be there with their kids and, also spend a lot of time with Jesus as well.
Yeah, I really agree with that. I wasn't always spending a lot of time with my kids. When Vinnie and Jacob, who are your friends, were little, I was really busy building our company. And your dad helped me a lot on this actually, kind of like have perspective about like you don't have to do one at the expense of the other. Do you know what that means? Like I don't have to do all work and not, and I had to really change some things, and it did change some of my stuff in business, at least then. Now I'd say, I have all adult children, so it's a little bit different, but here's what's really awesome. I have actually relationships with them that I would not say I'm friends with my children. I'd say that I'm their dad. But as being like this awesome dad with them, they trust me. I trust them. We actually are able to like have an actual relationship like this.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, right on. I think everybody in the whole world like, pretty much agrees with that.
That's so good. Not everyone has one of those. That's the tricky thing, right?
Yeah. But everyone wants to have it.
Everyone does want to have one.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true, actually.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm married. My wife Debbie. We've been married for just a little over 30 years. I always like to say that my family started when Deb and I got married. It got extended when we added our first child, Sophia, and we have 4 children actually. And Sophia's 24, Vinny's 22, named after the same awesome name as me. Jacob is 20, and Elizabeth is 18. So I have 4 adult children in college right now. So Leo, if you want to give me any of your allowance to help support my life, that would be great. I could use it. But no, we're in a very busy phase. And I'm actually also like what people would say is like a serial entrepreneur. I've actually had the privilege to build a few businesses, sell a couple of them. And right now I'm doing it again. I'm building my newest company, a company called SiteTrust at sitetrust.com. And we're building and creating standardization for transparency of how to report and disclose how you use AI as a company so that you can build up credibility with your customers.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your company.
Yeah, so what's a really interesting part of that story is I've owned SiteTrust and the brand for almost 12 or 13 years, and I've had a few different things around security, and so I let it sit for a few years after my last little compliance thing on it. And I was sitting at church my buddy Jeff, who is my best friend and our senior pastor, what doesn't like this part of the story, Leo. So he's going to watch this and go, great, you told everybody. But he's also used to it too. So I'm sitting at church and I was drifting during the sermon and thinking about this idea of disclosure on the internet. And I don't know about you, but what I've noticed is a lot of what I think of the current generation, the youngest adult in the marketplace, like Vinnie and Jacob. I watch them saying things like, hey, if I know it's AI, I can deal with it. If I don't believe any of it. And I started seeing that in business. I was testing our ads for our former company. And I noticed, like, when I disclosed it was AI, it performed better. When I didn't, it didn't perform as well. And I started seeing that trend. And the lawyer in me, one of the things I didn't announce about myself is I've been a business lawyer for 25 years this year. And I started to see a real gap in the marketplace around this idea of disclosure and like trying to have credibility with your customer. And I went and looked to see if anything like that existed in the marketplace, and nothing like it existed. Wow. And so I decided to try and tackle the problem. And so we launched SiteTrust to create an environment where you can have a AI policy, a standardization, and a badge that we would provide, and then have levels of verification and auditing to show that you are trying to do your best to have some type of standardization and, fancy word, governance around how you use AI with your customers.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think, I think we use AI for like everything.
Yeah.
But if we like, hey AI, like in like 2030, we're gonna be like, hey Gemini, go make me my coffee.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I kind of wish it did that now, Leo. I would love it. There was a little show when I was your age called The Jetsons. It's a cartoon. You may or may not have seen it. You should look it up on YouTube. And they actually was this older cartoon, and it had all of the stuff in their home be on this like voice command. And I think we're heading there. I really think we're not far away from that.
If you spread AI out, it's kind of not going to perform too well. But if you just have it like in one position for like forever, it's probably going to do, very well. So I would say take it step by step. Just don't be like, all right, here's 10 quests, go do it all,
That's a really interesting point. I agree with that. I think a lot of people are, and I think it's great. I think we're at the early adoption phase of people using AI, to your point. And I think I don't know about maybe your mom, but like my wife uses it to like search for a recipe or to do like a thing, which is great. It's such a perfect use of AI. And so the part that I decided that I think I'm trying to help the marketplace with is create a better relationship between us, the customer, and then us, the company. Like, what does that relationship look like? And can I use disclosure and be honest about how I'm using it as a way for me to increase trust with you as a customer?
Yeah. What is your biggest challenge and how did you overcome it?
I'm in the middle of my biggest challenge. So this is the first time in my career that I've ever had a first mover business. Your dad will even tell you, I've been a great copycat. I see an idea, I take it, I make a little bit my version of it. It's what I did with Fully Accountable, my old accounting company. I saw a problem, I saw the marketplace, I took what was already an existing idea and made it better. This is the first time I've ever literally built something that nobody else is doing. And so the world calls that a first mover. And so I got a great name for a first mover. SiteTrust is a really cool name for what we're doing. But I'm in the process of, we've got our registry live. We have clients. People are signing up every day for our registry and for our certification, which is super exciting. But I'll tell you, like no one tells you this, but when you're a first mover, you have to also educate the marketplace. So I'm having a really interestingly hard time. It's a little lonely because I got no one else to copy off of, right? It's how like when you play games and you watch a guy and you can go watch him and you're like, oh, he made a good move, and you can like go make that move yourself later. I don't get to do any of that. I have to make
Yeah.
all of this up from scratch. Now, the good news is I think we're going to solve a big problem, and we are
Yeah.
currently doing that. The bad news is it's a little lonely, buddy.
I think, you know, people copy everything and like, if I do this, it'll work. 99% of the time it will work. That
Yeah.
1%, I feel like we should, you know, at least try to do something for ourselves, you know, and strive for ourselves, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really good. And
yeah.
by the way, everything I build in business is usually solving a problem for me. So how this whole thing started was I was running an ad, and you probably know about this, but there's technology like this software called HeyGen, and what it does is it takes basically a video of me, and then I just keep talking, and it makes what they call an avatar video of me. Well, I got in front of a camera and shot some ads that I wanted to run, and I did it just like this, like on a Zoom or a camera. And I took that same video footage and ran it through HeyGen with the exact same script. The HeyGen video was outperforming me like this. And I started like wondering, like, I didn't do anything different. Why is it different? And there's this real interesting thing that when I watermarked that HeyGen, which basically said enhanced by AI or made by AI or our little logo with that in the bottom, my conversions increased. And it was really interesting to me that now this has been a couple months, so I've been under the hood tinkering a lot. And it is amazing to me that people just want some honesty. Don't you love it? Like as we're friends, what if you asked me in my question, what's my hardest thing? And I'm like, I don't know, everything's great. You'd be like, that doesn't sound like normal life.
Yeah.
I gave you a better answer, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also true with the way people are being honest with each other. I've at least had noticed that there's a lot of low trust. Like we don't seem to trust each other a lot. And so something like this is an attempt to try to see. So I just started solving my own problem. And so in the process of that, I think I started saying, I think other people have this problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. That's the long answer to a very easy question.
Yeah. I actually one of the next questions that is on here is what is a way you think that we can all change the world? And you've already mentioned it, but trust, you know, I think like you said, no one trusts each other anymore, you know.
So we're in a low trust environment, and so I like to study history. I'm a little bit of a historian, and you know, there are some like famous historians that would speak about this. The key to a relationship is around trust, and so there's this formula about if I can increase trust, which would then increase engagement, I could then acquire or keep a customer for a cheaper cost. That's kind of a formula that was produced, I don't know, let's say back in the 50s by a few smart guys. And it's basically a formula that we all follow. So how do you increase trust? Well, trust is like this thing that you kind of earn. Well, some people say it takes a while to earn trust. But we tested this, and I'm actually writing a book about this, Leo, called The Trust Gap. And they tested whether or not you have to take a long time to build trust. And one of the things they proved is that there can be a speed up of trust through credibility. You can really speed up trust by credibility. So, you know, like in my faith, this happened in my home. Like I talk about Jesus, but when I got caught, air quote, reading the Bible by the guys, Vinnie and Jake seeing me do it added more credibility to my faith in Christ, more than me just telling them about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're noticing with using disclosure or being honest. Like those are integrity. These are traits that actually can speed up trust. And so we're trying to battle credibility. And so see if we can, because we're in a low trust environment, which means everyone says something and we're kind of supposed to believe them or not believe them. What can we do to show our behavior, earn some credibility, and in the process, speed up trust?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think today, we're all just like this. I don't trust anyone.
Yes,
you know?
exactly right.
You know,
So true.
no offense to any 80-year-old watching this, but I feel like there's one 80-year-old out there in the world that's like, I only believe myself. I trust no one. I can only have my coffee and then my bread, and that's it. You know.
Leo, I don't think you're wrong about that, buddy. And I think we can pick on the 80-year-old. My mother-in-law probably doesn't like either one of us right now, but she would. But I don't.
her.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be 80 to have that thing. I think right now, like even my wife Debbie, like she can be skeptical, and for the right reasons. Like because there's a lot of things out there that it looks so good right now, you don't even know if it's real.
Mm-hmm.
So the weird thing that's going on is people are trying to hide behind it and trick us, as opposed to like just being honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're observing through our testing is that the people who are being honest about it have a better chance of credibility than the ones who are trying to get away with it.
Yeah. So the next question is, when you are scared, what's something that makes you feel brave again?
That's really good. There was a World War II famous POW, let's call it, but he was actually this German pastor.
Okay.
And his name was Barnhofer. And he makes a statement that I think a lot of pastors today use, and it comes right from scripture, but it's this idea that when you speak out loud about something that you're struggling with, and you even better go like to you and I are brothers in Christ. If I say to you, Leo, I'm really struggling with this, just the activity of me doing that, even among all our friends right now while we're on a podcast, like that activity takes out the isolation and doing it alone. And so I've learned to actually get much better at speaking about my struggles, the things I'm scared about, because the enemy, that what I would refer to as the things we're not even aware of, lose a lot of its authority or power. And I love it. If I could get more people to now, I like to kind of talk, so maybe it's easier for me. But learning to talk about my junk has been really super powerful for taking that. If you have like this thing you're worried about and you just stay worrying about it, but you don't talk about it, don't you feel worse?
Yeah.
So I've learned to just talk out loud about it, and I feel less worse. Or you bet back to your question, the fear seems to go way down.
Yeah, you know, I feel like we should be more open about stuff, you know. We don't have to always, you know, be enclosed, you know. I feel like we should, you know, talk on what we feel, you know.
Why do you think we don't? I have an idea or two, but what do you think? Why do you think we don't do that?
I think that most people are like, this will just end. I know it will, you know, like this will go away and I can move on to life, but it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I also think we're worried about, I'm also worried about maybe, and it's not a fair feeling, but I'm worried about how you might feel about me or judge me for telling you, which I think is a really unfair feeling. It's not true. I should give you the chance to respond whatever way you want, but you know, we can respond back ways that aren't so great, right? I know.
Yeah, I think like today, you know, we're like, I can get over it. It's just gonna take time, but we can't forget about it, and then it's just stuck in here, you know.
I know, bud. So true. You ever been like disappointed with a friend or even dad when he says something a certain way and it kind of sticks with you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it happens to all of us, bud. Okay, I've been on both sides of it. I have sons. I've said some things, and like it's in both ways. And so, yeah, that's the tricky part. So I've just learned to talk about it.
Yeah. So the next question is, what advice would you give to yourself? So like from today, if you're like, let's say 12, what advice would you give to yourself back then?
I'm always in a big hurry. Like the part of my personality is speed. It's really helped me in trying things. I can take a little bit more risk than the average person and try stuff. But I always struggle with wanting next week's version of whatever I'm speeding up with because I'm in a hurry. So I wish I could, well, I wish. I'm doing it now. If I had to go back and tell my younger self this thing, it would be like enjoy today. There's enough to worry about today. Don't be so anxious about tomorrow.
Yeah. I feel like everyone today is just in a speed type of mode. It's like, okay, got that. It's like, can we just like take a breather and just like step on the brakes real quick and just like look at a piece of grass and then we can move on,
That's just
like,
sounds so nice. We should look at a piece of grass together. I would like that. So
yeah. I feel like we moved like too fast to even know this was happening around us,
yeah, I that's where I get in the most trouble is and then the other thing I do that I would like to not do is I can sometimes get the words obsessed, or my whole thought process is thinking about only one thing. And so I would say that can get me in trouble, and I'd like to not be so anxious about one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that one thing is, it changes, right?
Yeah.
And so like I probably have had that for the last 2 months about our new company. And just the other day, I was like, I had this really good moment with the Lord where he was like, kind of like convicting me, instructing me about this idea, like, okay, you needed to get that live, but now we need to think about other things too, including your lovely wife who hasn't seen you much. Yeah.
Well, this is the end of the podcast, but we have the very last special question.
Okay.
It's the best for last. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, there's one mini question that comes along with it. That being, do you like soccer? Or
do I like soccer? I don't think you know about me, so I think I have to tell you a fact.
Okay.
I played soccer in college.
You did?
I did. I was my freshman year in college, I could run really fast.
Oh, wow.
So even in my senior year in high school, I was a pretty fast guy. And so there were friends of mine who were way better soccer players skill-wise. Your buddies who can dribble the ball with their hand and their feet. I wasn't one of those guys, but I could run like a deer.
Oh, wow.
And so I got to play soccer my first year in college until I hurt my knee. Now, I don't think I liked it as much as football. I just had a little body, so I kept getting hurt in football. So my coach made me like quit the football team, and I went and played soccer.
So, like, did you like run too fast and like you tripped, and that's how you hurt your knee, or?
So in my winter season after my first year, so I was a freshman. I'm left-footed, so I got some playing time. In our winter season, we played indoor. It was like think of it like practice, but like it really wasn't our league. And so in indoor, a guy slid tackled me, and I had an MCL on my knee. I had basically tore up the inside of my knee. And here's what happened. I recovered from it, but guess what I got as a gift?
Pain?
That was in the beginning. It went away. It's tight now. I still have tightness till today, but the pain's mostly gone. I lost my speed. And so what was actually my competitive advantage in soccer went away. And so I went back out my sophomore year and got myself in a little bit of trouble with grades. I was a little discouraged mentally about like my identity was wrapped up in some of my sports stuff. So I got a little discouraged about that. So I then started like just enjoying life, not taking things seriously. And I got myself disqualified for grades and then ultimately removed from, I was going to get removed from the team either way because I no longer was good enough to start on a Division I team. But I ultimately got removed because I got disqualified by my grades.
Well, that was the mini question. So this is the final big last question.
All right.
The big number 100 or Big 10, you might call it.
Yeah.
Ronaldo or Messi, if you had to pick one?
Oh, I am a Messi guy all the way. Now, I will tell you a fun
Thank you.
story.
Finally, someone actually agrees with me.
He's so much better. I know, Ronaldo, I got you. I was in Portugal, like where he's from, this Lisbon, Portugal, and his picture is everywhere. He's like a god there, but he's nowhere near as good as Messi.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Ronaldo.
Yeah, sorry, but Messi's kind of better.
He's playing for the championship right now, so
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like
Oh,
he will have won every capable high level championship you could win if he wins the MLS, and so
oh
that's pretty
wow.
exciting for him. Now, I only read about that. I don't actually watch our
Yeah.
MLS. I'm looking forward to the World Cup coming up.
Oh yeah.
You have a team other than the USA that you kind of root for?
Probably Argentina, because wait,
Messi, you are a
yeah,
big Messi fan. All right.
yeah. So Argentina. So, hey, I'm ready to take all the Ronaldo fans at me. So,
Nice.
but
Well,
yeah,
I
I
think you're
saw.
rooting for the right guy.
Yeah, I saw a picture actually. They had like Ronaldo's like face like spray painted on like a wall. So like he's everywhere.
Oh, but I think he's. I don't remember if I'm right about this, but he's right up there near like the wealthiest athlete in the world,
Yeah.
and he owns a whole bunch of stuff. Like when I was in Lisbon, which is the capital city of Portugal, I mean, it felt like he was everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I live in a place that used to have pictures of LeBron everywhere here in Cleveland,
Oh,
and now I'd say Christian had way more photos and stuff in Lisbon.
yeah.
He owned businesses there, and so he's a larger than life guy. I don't think Messi is seen like that level. And
Yeah.
I think people pick Christian because of that.
Hmm.
I'm not convinced. No,
Yeah.
he's a little bit farther along in his
Yeah.
career. Like he's reaching the
Hmm.
end. He's like kind of like LeBron. He's at the end of his
Yeah.
career. You know?
Hmm. I mean, in like, I think just because like he wins like a big cup, everyone goes
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But if like I think that's why everyone picks him instead of Messi. But if I had to say, because it's really close, but if I had to say like in raw skill, I'd probably go Messi.
I think you're right. I think Ronaldo is actually pretty big too. I don't know if you've ever
Mhm.
seen him up against other guys. So he's actually a pretty interesting sized guy for the position he plays. And
Isn't he like a center forward?
yeah, like and so he's a
Yeah.
big guy. Like he almost like looks like a fullback. He's big.
Oh,
And but he's that this is like LeBron versus Michael Jordan argument. You can't
okay.
go wrong picking either one.
Yeah.
I like Messi better.
Yeah, same. I respect both players. I
Yeah.
like both players, but at the end of the day, when you have to pick the favorite, I'm gonna go towards Messi.
I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I have someone on my team who lives in Argentina on our team, so she's going to be
Oh.
excited that I picked her guy. So
Well, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Vinny, it was nice having you here.
Leo, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah. Well, until next time, guys. Bye.